Hey YouTube, I want to show you another knife today. This is an Emerson Dagger. And you know what, before we start, no, I did not cut myself on a knife. I was at work, and you know how you do something over and over again so it becomes second nature and you kind of stop thinking about it? But I think I was actually thinking about what I was going to have for dinner later that night, and all of a sudden my finger started bleeding, so... Alright, so back to the knife. The Emerson Dagger is a rare piece, and this piece is actually even more rare than most daggers because this particular configuration has only been seen on two knives. And actually the guy that I bought this from had both of them, so this is one of two known to exist that has this exact configuration. What makes it interesting, it has the hard chrome finish, which is this matte gray finish that you see on it, and that dates it between the year 2000 and the year 2003. It also has an interesting logo, the block Emerson logo, which I'll talk to you a little bit about, and then it has the Emerson lethal edge skull. So it has a chisel ground blade, which you can see on the back is just showing some wear from the kydex, and chisel ground with the primary bevel and secondary bevel, as you can see from the you can see it reflecting the light, and then it has the tang all the way out. And this quarter wrap is actually done by a friend of mine, gold and black, the Order of the Black Shamrock colors. And there's actually a few holes drilled in here. I can't remember if there's 3 or 4. But they're drilled in there so that you can weave paracord through, or if you wanted to make scales, you can make scales and drill through those holes to mount the scales. But yeah, so these block letters, this is called the block logo, and it is it's not the first time that he used this. Back in the late 90s, I think it was 99, but I'm not positive, he was going to a show in Japan. It's I can't remember the name of the city, but the name of the show is named after the city. And he was making his custom knives for the show. He was making sixes and the things like that. And he was crushed for time and wasn't able to get to his normal logo engraving service person. So instead of going to his normal location, he actually went to a jeweler. And the jeweler couldn't do his normal logo. I can't remember if he was using the Half Moon logo or if he'd switched to the Spec War logo at that point. But anyways, so instead, he used just a regular block letters with the name Emerson. So he actually, it looks exactly like this. And I've only seen that logo on the those knives from the Japan show, and these blades, this one and the other one. His daggers are pretty rare. As fixed blades go, Ernie doesn't make very many, and especially anymore, he makes nearly none. Back in his garage days, he made more, and he actually made a full hand ground, satin finished dagger that had like his micarta, the green linen micarta handle scales, and actually I think this one is hand ground too. At least that's the story that I've heard about it. I think that was like the CF11 or the CF10. I don't recall which model number it is. But he's also made recently, more recently at least, production daggers, and he made a run of them for the Usual Suspects network, and I think there's over 100 of them. They're all numbered. I'm trying to remember the highest number that I've seen. I think there's over 100 of them. And then I think he's made another set. I think they were just called like the Lethal Edge Dagger set. They had the Lethal Edge logo on the front and a different logo on the back. I can't recall now which one. But they were both of those runs of daggers were black coated. So this is the only satin finished. Well, this is the only hard chrome finished dagger that is in existence. This one and the other one, excuse me. So it makes it a cool collector's piece. But But interestingly, I do know someone who carries an Emerson Dagger. At least they used to. They carried one of the USN daggers. And without giving out too many details, this person would go into harm's way as part of their job. And he carried it or carries it, I don't know, as part of his self-defense, as like a self-defense blade. And Emerson knives are always about fighting knives, and a dagger is all business. And but what's interesting is these handles, or at least the metal, the way it's designed, the way it comes from Ernie, or came from Ernie, is it really needs something on it. It's too thin to be gripped comfortably. That's why I have these this paracord wrap on it the way I do, or kind of like fills the hand a little more. I've also seen people put not carbon fiber, micarta scales on, or G10 scales on. They're USN daggers. But once you do that, it actually is quite comfortable, and these two guards actually, they lock in pretty well, and I can see this being used as a last-ditch life-saving effort if you had to use it that way. But for me, it's just a collector's piece. It's just something cool to have, a little piece of history. One of those knives that Ernie will likely not make again, especially with the block lettering logo and the hard chrome finish, because the hard chrome finish kind of went out of style in, I can't remember, 2003 or 2004, when the 2004 ECA Knife of the Year came out, which was the Azek Marud, and it had the new satin finish on it, which was kind of like a Cerakote, kind of like a gun coat finish, which was like which was gray. When he used that between 2004 and 2009, and then in 2009 he introduced the stonewash finish as his quote-unquote satin finish. All right, but enough talking about the finishes of knives. Well, okay, for completeness sake, I have to say that before 2000 he used bee blasting for their satin finish, because they've always had black finish knives and satin finish knives. So this is all in production run. And the black finish has always been like the BT, the black Teflon coated blades, whereas the satin finish have kind of changed over the years from bee blast to hard chrome to like a Cerakote gun finish kind of thing to now stonewashed. Alright, so now we got off that tangent on blade finishes. I don't know what else there is to say about this knife. It's a cool piece. Like I said, it's very limited functionality as far as a utility knife. I mean, certainly if you wanted to, you could use it, but I couldn't see. I don't see I don't see using this as a utility knife. I feel like that would be a little bit foolish. I mean, there's plenty of other knives you can use as a utility knife. It has this cool kind of pyramid shape, which I guess all daggers do, but I think it looks cool. The way the grinds come up and then the flat on the top here. Alright, now I'm just rambling. If you have questions or comments, please leave them. Like the video, I always appreciate that. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. Yeah, as always, be dressed to play and geared to slaughter. See ya.